Ever wish you could spot a trend before it all blows up? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to do exactly that by walking you through one of the most surprising trending digital products that I've come across recently and how you can create your own version in a super easy to use graphic design tool, Kittl, even if you're not a designer. And just so you know, this isn't one of those maybe it will sell ideas. It's actually backed by real research using my favorite research tools, EverBee. So I'll take you step by step from idea to finished product so that you can get yours listed in your shop too. Hi, I'm Alicia, and around here I help creatives like you turn your ideas, skills, and stories into digital products that actually sell. In this video, I am going to be exploring a digital product, test out the process, and then show you exactly how to create your own, even if you're starting from scratch. And today we are diving into composition notebook covers. Yep, these are digital files that your customers can print onto sticker paper and then use to personalize their own notebooks. They're trending on Etsy right now. They're super simple to make, and they are the kind of product that's fun, useful, and perfect for the back to school season. In this video, I'll show you why they are selling so well right now, how to create your own using a beautiful hand-drawn pattern bundle I found on Creative Fabrica, and how to stand out even if the market's already feeling a little full of AI-generated designs. So why are these notebook covers working so well? Well, they tick a lot of boxes that Etsy loves in a bestseller. They are simple and useful, easy to customize to different styles or events, and super affordable and convenient to print at home. So when I popped into EverBee to do a bit of research, a few things stood out. Styles like kawaii, boho, and pastel are getting consistent sales, and also like back to school themes. And the listings with the strongest mock-ups and clear use cases are converting best right now. So not only are these products trending, they're also pretty beginner friendly and flexible to design. Okay, so let's start with a plan. So before I even open up Kittl, I like to start with a bit of planning first. This is where EverBee helps again. So I'll search the product idea, scan a few of the top listings, and then jot down anything that stands out like pricing, bundles, styles, or maybe even some extras that are included in some of the listings. Then I'll open up a Google Doc or even a new Kittl project and then start mapping out things like the theme or the aesthetic. I'll think of the sizing specs as well. So standard composition notebook covers are 6.9 by 10 inches, which will fit a standard composition notebook cover, excluding the spine. I'll include links or screenshots of any patterns that I want to use. And then I'll also think about a label, so the composition label that comes with the design as well. So this gives me a little creative mood board to keep everything aligned and clear before jumping into the design. Now let's talk about your options for actually creating the designs. So there are a few different ways that you can approach this depending on your skills and your time. So the first option is to design it all yourself. So if you love to illustrate, you can create your own elements in Procreate, Photoshop, or Illustrator, or wherever you work best, and then create a seamless pattern or design. You can use AI-generated art. Tools like Recraft, Midjourney, or Kittl can help you create seamless patterns. And the third option is to use pre-made graphics with commercial use rights. So this is my go-to for creating quick products, and it's what I'll be using today. But just a heads up, you do want to make sure to check the licensing to make sure that you can actually use these designs to create your own unique book cover, okay? Now the bundle I'm using is from Creative Fabrica. It's called the Cozy Sweet Hand-Drawn Background Bundle. It's full of soft, adorable patterns in a pastel palette, and it comes with the correct license for reselling finished products like the one I'm going to create today. Okay, so for today's tutorial, I'm actually going to be using Kittl. So let's jump on over to my computer, open up Kittl, and create a quick notebook cover together. Okay, so before I go ahead and start designing, I like to make sure that I'm doing some design trend research first to make sure that what I'm going to be creating is actually currently trending at the moment. This goes for anything that I create. Printables, planners, journals, templates, anything that I create that I would like to sell. I want to make sure that I'm creating something that folks want to buy. So the place that I always love to go for my trend research is actually on Pinterest. Most of the products, like things like printables, planners, journals, most of those types of items, if they're trending on Pinterest, you'll most likely know that they're trending on Etsy as well. Pinterest and Etsy are like a match made in heaven. So if you can see it on Pinterest, you'll most likely be able to see that trend on Etsy as well. So in order to do your trend research, all you need to do is just pop in a couple of keywords that you know relates to what you want to create into the search bar. Now, I know that the kind of whimsical stripes and checkered patterns are trending at the moment, but if you don't know what's trending, just type in the type of product you'd like to create and then see what comes up. So you could type into the search bar composition notebook cover, journal cover, planner cover, and then it'll just show you the designs that are currently trending. So from here, all I do is just start scrolling through, taking note of what I'm seeing, what I'm noticing in the majority of the pins here. And then if anything stands out to me, I would jump into that pin. So for example, if I like this one, I would jump into that pin. I would save this image so that I can use it and reference it when I'm creating my designs. So from here, I would then scroll down and see what other pins are being shown to me that relate to that or are similar to the pin that I just looked at. And then you can get an idea and have a look through there. From here, what I also do is just take a screenshot of my screen. So that way, instead of having a whole heap of multiple different images, if I just get a screenshot, I can get the kind of general vibe of the design trend as well. Okay, so once you've done that, once you've saved a few images, taken a few screenshots, I would then upload these into wherever I'm designing. In this case, we are going to be designing inside of Kittl. So I would just start uploading those images into my project file. Okay, I will share with you how you can do that in just a moment. So from here, what you want to also think about is what you are going to need in order to create your design. So there are a few different ways that you can create the composition notebook cover. You can use your own illustrations, whether that be your actual physical illustrations. Let's say you're a watercolor artist. If you paint your own covers or your own illustrations or patterns, you can then do those and then scan them into your computer and then use them in your designs. That's a fantastic way to do it because then it's your own original artwork. You can also use an iPad and use a program like Procreate to create and design your artwork. And another option is to use AI. So let's say you are familiar with creating images or patterns or seamless patterns using things like Midjourney, or you can create them in your favorite design program, even Kittl, or you can create them in Canva as well. And there's a multiple amount of other different AI softwares that you can use. And then there's the option to use other people's designs, illustrations, and patterns as well. So if you go on over to places like Creative Fabrica, you can actually access commercial use designs and illustrations that you can implement into your own digital products. So that's the method that we're going to be using today. So I'm going to head on over to Creative Fabrica. And here is one of the designs that I found that I feel would be perfect for what I want to create. So here I found a pack of hand-drawn background illustrations or patterns that I can upload into my design, modify it and edit it a little bit so that I can sell it as my own design. So you just want to make sure that whenever you are accessing third-party illustrations, graphics, clipart, anything like that, you want to make sure that you're reading the commercial use license to make sure that you are just following the terms and you're not directly competing, I guess, with the original design and the original artist. Okay, so my intention for this is to use these designs as the background of my cover and then just add in the composition label, the composition notebook label on the top to make sure that it's a unique design. Okay, so I really loved the feel and style of this. These patterns are definitely in line with the type of style that is currently trending on Pinterest, which will also be trending on Etsy as well. So I've gone ahead and downloaded that. I'll also leave a link to this in the description box below. But yep, so I've gone ahead and downloaded that. I also found on Creative Fabrica some composition notebook labels that I can use. So these are already pre-done labels. These are PNG files that I can go ahead and then just add directly onto my notebooks if I want to make a really easy product that I can go ahead and sell. Alternatively, I'll show you how you can create your own labels. But I thought that this would be a handy resource that you might want to have access to. Again, I'll leave this linked in the description box below. So once you have downloaded all the elements that you would like to use in your composition notebooks, you have also got all of your reference images. Now it's time to start designing, okay? So all you need to do is head on over to Kittl. So once you are logged into Kittl, you just want to go over here to New Project, click on New Project. And then what we want to do is we want to change the size here. For the unit, we want to change this to inches. And then for the size, we are going to do 6.9 and we want to do by 10. So 6.9 inches wide by 10 inches high. And then let's go ahead and change this to 300 dpi. Now, the reason why we are doing it in this size is that's the general size of the actual design of the composition notebook, excluding the black spine that's usually on the left-hand side, okay? So essentially what someone can do is line up their sticker sheet once they've got it printed and cut to size. They can line this up against the border of the composition notebook and then have it cover the remainder of the cover, okay? But I'll share with you how this looks up once we go to creating the mock-up of that, okay? All right, so once you've got those settings ready to go, just go ahead and click create and that'll open up a brand new project for you. Now, okay, once you have your project ready to go, what I would recommend doing is start importing all of those reference images in. I've already done so and I've just popped them here to the left. So let's scroll on over to the left here. Just going to scroll out a little bit. So as you can see here, I've just taken a whole heap of screenshots from Pinterest and then just dumped them here into my project for easy reference. The great thing about Kittl is that you have this enormous artboard that you can use to add in all of your reference images, you know, any elements or fonts or text that you want to use, and you can dump them just around your actual artboard, the canvas that you are creating, and then when you do go to save, none of this will actually be saved in your design. Only the artboard here will be designed. So I love the fact that you can just kind of play around and dump all this here and then not have to worry about it later. I also brought in some additional images of the type of style of labels that I like. So I found these two images here on Pinterest. I just saved them from Pinterest and I kind of like the labels of these. So instead of going a more traditional composition notebook label, that kind of style, you could also, you know, spice it up a little bit by creating something a little bit more unique. So I think I'll show you both ways. I'll show you how to just import the composition notebook labels, the original style, and then also how to create something similar to this as well. Okay. All right, so we've got all of our reference images here. The next thing to do is to start importing and uploading those design elements that you have used, whether that's your own design, so your own hand-drawn elements, whether that is designs that you have created using AI, or those third-party or those other artist drawings and illustrations as well. To do that, all you need to do is go to the upload section here in Kittl, go ahead and drag it or upload using the upload button here. And then once they're all uploaded, so all of the elements are uploaded into your Kittl account, you can actually move them to a folder. So what I did is I just created a brand new folder by going to add new folder. I renamed it composition notebook, and then I just moved all of those elements here. So as you can see, I've just selected a couple of those different patterns, and then I have selected one of those composition notebook labels and then dragged that here into my folder so that I have ease of use. Once you're happy with those, all I would do is I would just scroll out here and then I would just click to add all of these notebook covers. So I would go add and then add, and then I've got all of these here ready to go. Okay, so from here, I would also add in the composition notebook label. So let's paste that in as well. So I've got these ready to go. And then I would also go ahead and grab a couple of labels. So let's say I wanted to create my own composition notebook labels. You can do that in Kittl by going to illustrations, go on over to basic shapes, go show all, and then you've got a whole heap of different shapes that you can use and change and edit in order to create your own composition labels. So for example, if I wanted to create this style here, so I'm just going to scroll in, can we see how two of the ends here, the corners, are pointed, but the other two have more like a curved corner? So the radius has been changed here on these two corners. You can do that by clicking on the shape here under transform, and then we've got the radius here. Just go ahead and click the corner radius settings, and then you can change the corner radius here. So let's say I wanted this to be 15, and let's do this one 15, and go enter. And now you can see how these corners are shaped differently to these. So in order to make them bigger or smaller, you can now just use the toggle, and this can toggle in and out for each one. So I might go maybe like a 40 degrees. So I'll go back here to corner radius. Let's go 40 on that and 40 on that. There we go. Okay. So that's how you can create something similar to this as well. You can also, change the width and height of it if you like. So perhaps you wanted this a little bit longer than you do wider. You could do something like that. Okay. All right. So that is how we create those labels if you wanted to create them yourself. Additionally, if you wanted to create like this arch, there is an arch shape here. There we go. So it's easy as that. If you want to change the color or transparency of these, all you need to do is go to color. Let's say we wanted to change it to white, and then change the opacity. Just go ahead and change that. Let's say we wanted it like 90. So when we overlay it onto a pattern, for example, you can just see the pattern behind it. You can do all sorts of things like create borders. So if we go to border, you can just add the border here. Let's say we wanted to take this up to 10. Okay, and you can also change the color of the borders. Additionally, you can add in lines and so on and so forth, but I might leave that for now. Also, we can add in our own text. So to add in a text box, just go to add headline. Let's zoom in here so we can see what we're doing. Let's move this down here. So if we wanted to select a similar font to this, all we would do is select the text box. Let's write in notes like so, or diary. Let's write in diary. From here, we can change the text, so the actual font itself. So let's say we want this one here. We can also change the font to uppercase. Let's see if we can find something similar to this. You don't have to find something exactly the same, maybe just something similar, because you don't want to be copying, I suppose. You just want to make sure that you are creating something unique to you and to your type of design. Let's see how that looks. I want something a little bit more bold. I've seen this font trending, so perhaps we'll go with something like that. All right, so we'll use this in a design in just a moment, but let's go back to our artboard now and let's have a play around with what we want to design. So let's go ahead and just scroll in here. I'm going to go back to my uploads, and just for ease of use, I'm just going to go ahead and click that one. And then I'm going to just align this with my design. So just make sure you position this in a way that you like. So I'm going to perhaps just center that like so. I might make it a little bit smaller, and let's go like that to align it to the center. Okay, happy with that, how that looks. And I'm just now going to add in the composition notebook label, add this to the design, and then center that in the middle. So just making sure that the alignment is centered, and then just resize it to how you would like. Again, just resize that. Align that to the center, and then I like to have that towards the top. If you prefer, you could have that also in the middle if you like, instead of at the top, but I like to have this more towards the top of the cover. And honestly, it is that simple to create a composition notebook cover, okay? Now, if you do want to up-level your design and create something a little bit more unique, like I mentioned, you can go ahead and create some of your own labels. So I actually have gone ahead and done this already using some of these different designs. So if we scroll on over here, so I have the original artboard here. So I've got the pattern here with the composition notebook label. I also have a design here which just says diary. I actually might just change the opacity of this ever so slightly. So let's go to color, and I'm going to actually take this to 90%. Very good. And I actually might just bring that down a little bit. And I might change the font of that one to the one that we used before. So I'm going to go to textile and I'm going to go to this one. Very good. And I also might add in a line. So we're just going to go to illustration, lines and arrows, go to show all. Just going to select this line right here, change the height to maybe 3. Actually, let's go 1. The width, let's go 50, maybe 100. Oops, let's unclick this so it doesn't lock the proportions and go back to 1. Let's center that. Now what I might do is select all of these, this one and the line, and I want to group all of these together so that way when I move them, let's say I want to move these up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and move them up like this. Very good. I might actually add in like an additional border here. So I'm going to go ungroup, duplicate that one. I'm going to add in a border, but I want to make this so it comes in. Change the border weight to 1. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to send that one to the back. So go backwards on that. Great. Like how that looks. I think this border might be a bit too dark, so I want to take it to more of a grey. Same for the text and the line. Very good. Okay, happy with how that looks. So there is another way that you can create your own composition notebook cover. And then I've also created this one here. So this was using the shape with the rounded corners. So again, you can just change this up a little bit. So maybe you can make it a little bit taller than it is wider. You could do something similar with how I've created the borders here. So to do that, I would select the background here. What I might do is actually change the color to match this color here. Then I'm going to duplicate that. Again, add in a border. This time maybe take it to 2. Again, just reduce the size ever so slightly. I'm going to go options, send forward. I'll make it a little bit smaller. Very good. You could change the color if you like. So perhaps you wanted to go back to pure white. You could do so. And I'm going to just change this. So this, there we go. So that's centered. I'm going to group those together and then again just align that to the center of the design. Okay. Additionally, you could add in other elements and designs and potentially different patterns or even clip art to these covers. But as you can see, within just a couple of minutes, I was able to create 3 different unique designs using all of those elements that I got from Creative Fabrica, and then also using the Kittl design software itself. Kittl makes it so easy to create digital products that you can sell on Etsy. The wonderful thing about Kittl as well is that you can actually save these now as a high quality print. Because you know that your customers are going to be printing these at home, you want to make sure that the details of the actual design itself are crisp. And with Kittl, you can actually save these designs at a very high DPI, ensuring that high quality print, okay? So once you're happy with those, all you need to do is go on over to the export button here in the corner, click on that, and then select the artboards that you would like to save as your covers. So in this case, I want to select 6, 5, and 4. So I'm going to select board 4, 5, and 6. Very good. I want to save it as 300 dpi, so making sure that it's saved as 300 dpi. The initial design I am going to save as a PNG file, and then I'm also going to save it as a PDF file, giving my customers two different options for printing. So I'm going to go to download and then again export now as a PDF, and then choosing the artboards and then going to download. Okay, so now I've got PNG files and I've also got PDF files of these new cover designs. Okay, my friends, so once you have created your design, the next thing you need to do is just show them off in a mock-up. So I went ahead and created a simple mock-up using Canva that will show this design off and make it look like it's inside of a composition, well, on top of a composition notebook. So I'm going to open up that design now. So here is the composition mock-up template that I created. I'm just going to go ahead and upload the cover designs that we just created. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I have my new composition notebook covers here uploaded into my Canva account. And I'm just going to simply drag in my design on top of my Canva template. And voila, now my design is now displayed in what would be the final product of the composition notebook. Okay, so as you can see here, the black spine is still displayed, but now the actual cover has been updated. So all you need to do is just drag in any of your designs and then they'll be easily added into this notebook. Now, if you want access to this actual template, I will actually leave it inside of my free community, the Digital Creators Collective. You can sign up for free and navigate to the resources section of the free community, and I will leave that linked there for you to access. And then you can easily create your own mock-ups for your composition notebooks. So there you go, my friend, a very simple and easy way to create composition notebook covers that you can sell on Etsy. Okay, my friends, so that is how we use Kittl to create our composition notebook cover. Now, here's the thing. Most sellers would stop after uploading just one of those cute designs, but you are going to go a little bit further. Here's how to make your products stand out. So first, you might want to bundle 3 to 5 covers all around a specific theme or design style. You might want to add a bonus editable label page so your customers can personalize and customize it to their preferences. Maybe offer both PDF and PNG file formats so it works for different use cases and different style printers. And make sure to use those keywords that you found in EverBee, things like composition printable notebook cover or notebook cover for kids if you're specifically designing for children. So this helps your product feel complete, thoughtful, and more valuable, and it's what gets it noticed and sold. And there you have it, my friend, how to take a trending idea and turn it into a ready-to-sell product on Etsy without spending hours stuck in decision mode. And remember, you don't have to start with something complicated or wildly original. Just start with where you are, focus on something helpful and maybe cute, and use tools like EverBee and Kittl to make your process so much easier. Okay, my friends, so if you want to grab the exact pattern bundle that I used, the labels or other resources I mentioned, I've linked them for you in the description box below. And if you would love weekly trend ideas, tutorials, and creative inspiration, come and hang out with us in the Digital Creators Collective. It's completely free. It's a community for digital product creators and sellers, and it's full of good stuff to help you build your shop with confidence. As always, if this video helped, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe and share it with a friend or two who would love this idea as well. Okay, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.